Hey folks, and welcome to another review and thoughts on why not do The Witch. Now, before I start the review, I have to say I did check out a few movies on Netflix, which, yeah, people claim Netflix has good stuff. No, it does not in terms of horror movies. One of them, I think, was called Dead Con, which is a waste of time. It wants to be a unfriended thing, but also like it's not lost footage, but at the same time, it wants to be a paranormal activity film or flick or insidious flick with like not YouTubers, but people that are like influencers online, I guess. And they go into this chat thing, and then I forget even what, like, at one point it's about this bunny rabbit site thing, or a mascot of, I forget what it's called, Rabbit something, and like you stay in this one hotel room, and it tries to be like that movie 1408 with Samuel Jackson and John Cusack or whatever. That Stephen King flick. That's actually a good movie. Though minus the terrible downbeat, whatever ending that is. Either it's the alternate ending, but I like the ending where the guy lives at the end and kills the room. But yeah, and then I saw another flick on Netflix called I don't even know how to pronounce the name, but it dealt with like aliens invading this town, and it was sort of like Body Snatchers, something that was like teen oriented, and again the endings to a lot of these movies are like either downbeat or somewhat okay, but then might as well just be downbeat, because then in the end of that film, they assume, it's worldwide, because pretty much the aliens, or these alien spawn things, or fungus, whatever, already infected many all over the globe, pretty much. But then it shows, like, when they upload the thing at the very end, it's like, people on YouTube are commenting, "Are you guys survivors?" But it's too late, because they already left that place, so they won't know that there's other survivors. So now I'm like, so what? Do they even want to survive then? And then I'm thinking, are they already infected because they got cloned anyway? But anyway, yeah. But I did see a good movie today. I saw The Invisible Man. Finally got to watch that. I gotta say, I do agree with I wouldn't say it's one of the best films of the year, but I'll say it's a pretty interesting movie, and actually liked it. So I will be putting out my review on that soon. I decided why not take a look at the Cabin Fever remake, though I'm not a fan of any of the movies. I don't think I saw the third one. I don't think, but I know I saw Spring Fever, which is a sequel to the original. But I remember that one because it dealt with the black guy, wasn't he like a janitor or something, and he peed in the punch bowl, and his pee was hurting him. I think I saw it on FearNet or something like that. It was on TV, so yeah, that's a horrible movie, because then that's downbeat. Because the girl gets infected, and then she infects people in the car when they drive off. But anyway, back to the Witch. Now, the movie came out in 2015, but also it premiered at the Sundance Festival in 2015. and then widely released in 2016. Okay, but so it's a semi 2015, but also 2016 film, I guess. I don't know how to. Okay, but the film received positive reviews and box office success, which it only had 4 million and it grossed 40 million. So yeah, it became a minor hit to me. I mean, granted, I guess it holds a big thing on Rotten Tomatoes. What, 90 or 70 or 80, whatever percent, I think. But the film, it's pretty much about this Puritan family who encounter forces of evil in woods beyond their New England farm. Pretty much they get kicked out. Okay, the movie starts out with this family. They're at a court case. You don't really know what they're getting kicked out for. I guess the dad apparently is like, he's doing his own religious thing versus the town's, the people's way of life. So they kick him out because they don't like how he's doing his thing. And then he decides to take his family and they live in the woods on a farm, and they try to grow food, grow corn, and I guess that it's not really doing well. Then they get farm animals, and I will say the acting in the movie is not bad. I actually like the lead actress, Anna Taylor-Joy, which I don't mind her. I actually thought she did a good job. Not amazing, but I thought she did good. Everybody else, Ralph Eisen, whatever. Everybody else I thought did decent. The kid that played the young brother, I think his name's Harvey Scrimshaw, the actor's name. I thought he did a decent amount, but there's like one scene where there's a lot of praying in this movie as well. So there's like a lot of talking, whispering, and sitting down and praying a lot. So I don't even know why this movie is really labeled a horror film, because there's not really any scary stuff in it. I mean, maybe the fact that everybody's all paranoid and living in fear of committing sins, even though in their minds anyway, oh, we must pray every day, and you can't, and like the brother, he has like a thing. I don't really want to get into that, but like justify his whole, and so, but his thing with that, and then he gets messed up later on when witch seduces him. So, whatever. But yeah, they farm, they pretty much, they pretty much are, yeah, they pray a lot, and, okay, so the film, I'm reading this on on Wikipedia, pretty much, give you the rundown. Family builds a farm near a large secluded forest, and this scene when they get to the farm, I guess the dad wants like a sign to be shown to him. Should we farm on this land? And the music in this movie is either way too loud, because then when they're talking, when the actors are talking, at least the dad, his voice is like so deep, and like he talks in like a bare bass tone, so it's like really low. So then you have to turn the volume up, and then when you do that, and then music blasts, so then you're hit with the music, which isn't even good to me, or score. So then you gotta turn it down, but then you gotta turn it back up, so it's like back and forth with this. So I like, that's one con I don't like about the movie. But the daughter's name's Thomasin, which I never knew a girl could be named Thomasin. I always thought that was a boy name, or I mean, there's yeah, but anyway, the mom, Catherine, has a newborn child, Samuel, who you see in the trailer, pretty much the whole peekaboo thing, and he disappears, and then they accuse the daughter pretty much of, well, the mom does anyway, thinks there's something sketchy about, oh, you, all of a sudden you take him, and you're alone with him, and then he disappears, and so she blames pretty much Thomas for that, and spends the whole movie resenting the daughter, even though it wasn't her fault. Really, it was her fault because she told her to go take the baby off to in a far part of the farm. Like, why not just go in the house or something? I don't know. Play peekaboo in there or something. But William encourages. So you have Caleb, which is like the younger brother. He goes off with the dad so they can go hunt, and they want to make this. They want to make like the bunny. There's like this bunny that reoccurs throughout the movie, and they try to make it really scary, and it's not to me. And what else? After the children retire to bed, they overhear their parents discussing sending Thomasin away to serve another family. I couldn't tell because, again, I had to turn the music or the volume down, but then up again. And then, so early the next morning, Thomasin finds Caleb preparing to check a trap in the forest and forces him to take her with him by threatening to awaken their parents in the woods. In the woods, they spot a deer, or not a deer, a rabbit, I'm sorry, which sends their horse into a panic, of course, because it senses evil, the evil rabbit. And so the dog runs after it, and then Caleb runs after the dog because he wants whatever, and the horse knocks Thomasin off. She falls unconscious, and then Caleb gets lost in the woods because he was being stupid, chasing after a dog and a rabbit that he couldn't catch, let alone shoot. Then he finds a beautiful young woman emerges from a shack and pretty much takes him. And oh yeah, at the opening you do see the baby. Well, you see the witch who's like she looks like the demon or witch demon, whatever you want to call her, from The Conjuring. You know what I'm talking about, the ghost or demon in that movie. She looks like that one, except not really as horrifying or good. But yeah, you see it. She's like bathing herself in baby blood, and that. But then pretty much Caleb comes back eventually, naked and delirious, and this is where they take him into a room, and then the mom still, she's a witch, and all because Thomasin pretty much, they have the two twins pretty much are brats in this movie and are annoying, and Thomasin pretty much scares the one into, oh, I am a witch, and she was pretty much just saying that like to shut her up, and because she was annoying. So then she blurts that all out during the scene with them trying to help Caleb wake up, and they're like, she's a witch, she told me, and she curses us, or stuff like that. And the later that evening, Caleb expels a bloody apple from his mouth, and the mom believes witchcraft, pretty much. And then Caleb, in this scene where he goes like really over the top a little bit with this kid just acting, because he's like all, I forget the dialogue what he even said. He was basically like saying he loves Jesus and Christ and all that, and he's like holding his arms out like, take me now, and I'm like, I don't know how he. Again, you gotta watch that. Isn't it supposed to be serious? But this kid's like performance, I was going but yeah, he dies, and then the mom believes Caleb to have been under some sort of spell, and then the twins accuse again Thomasin of witchcraft. And she reveals to her parents that the twins have been talking to Black Goat Philip, who they call Black Philip, because he's black, I guess, and a goat, and his name's Philip. Enraged, William, the dad, pretty much, boards both Thomasin and the twins inside the goat house. But I'm like, why would you do that if you believe that, granted, the daughter might not be a witch, maybe the two twins are, but then you decide, and then they tell you that they talk to the goat, and the goat has many answers and all that, so maybe, you might want to be looking at that goat. Maybe you might want to be boarding up that goat in that house thing. Or goat house, but nope, he decides to board his three children into it, and will leave for town in the morning, but okay. But of course, Thomasin overhears William break down and confess to God that he has been prideful and made his family leave their old village out of stubbornness rather than sincere religious devotion. And later in the night, the three children are awoken by the sounds of pretty much the witches in that goat house, and she pretty much just mows through all of them except Thomasin. And pretty much you get the scene where this is the scene that has everybody all creaming their pants. Oh my God, she's she thinks she's feeding her baby, but it's really a crow that's pecking at her boob. I'm like, okay. I saw the scene. It wasn't really scary, let alone ew. I mean, I guess it was kind of gross, but at the same time, it wasn't even really that effective, because it wasn't, I guess, not zoomed in all the way, so maybe it has to be closer for me to. It was like right in your face, and you're seeing. I don't know. Catherine awakens to a vision of Caleb holding Samuel. That scene. And, of course, the crow pecking away at her chest. And then the next day, William awakens and walks outside to find the stable destroyed and the goat house destroyed, the twins missing. And Thomasin wakes up, lying nearby with bloodstained hands. And then Thomasin as she awakens, she sees the black goat, the goat, pretty much hinge or wait, what? Oh, okay. The goat pretty much kills the dad because, yeah. And instead of, I don't know, defending himself, because at one point he grabs an axe, and the goat like rammed into him once, and he's able to get an axe. He has it in his hand, and he drops it on purpose. He literally just throws it aside, and then just kill me now. And then I don't know what he was saying. He muttered something. Maybe I guess it dealt with like his beliefs of whatever, and just he decides to let the goat literally just kill him off. And I'm like, wow. So we built this guy up to be like the good guy, the head on, the cool, well, not cool, but the savior of the family, the provider, the strong, hero. And no, he dies for no reason, in a lame way, because he could have avoided it, but he decides not to because of his religion or whatever. I'm sorry, but if a goat, I saw videos where they explain maybe why he did that, such as, oh, his religion, of like he has nothing else to live for, because like all his family kind of deteriorated and was kind of gone. But I'm like, you did all this praying, and nothing really came of, because like evil wins in the end at the very end of the movie, and all this bad stuff is happening, and it's like, but then he's also being, not fully committed to his, like he is, but he isn't. He's also a flip-flopper on his stuff that he don't want us to talk about. But yeah, he dies in a lame way, and then all the wood that he was, chopping away at earlier throughout the movie falls on him and crushes him, so he's automatically DQ'd. And then we have the mom who goes crazy, and she's like, "You are the witch," and chokes out Thomasin for a minute, and then she just straight up she tries to get her mom to stop, but she won't stop, so she just kills her. And then that's when she goes right back in the house, and then she goes to sleep. So she literally sits at the table and just goes to sleep until nighttime. And then she wakes up, and she meets with the goat, and then talks to the goat. You don't see the goat talk, but you hear the goat talk. And it's like, oh, so he was the devil, I guess. And so yeah, the black goat, Philip, orders Thomasin to remove her clothes. Granted, we don't see anything, but you get the idea that to sign her name in a book. And she follows the goat into the woods, and she sees other naked women dancing and howling among the bonfire. And she watches them float like Tinkerbell came around them and just fairy dust them all up in the air. And then she's able to do it if you just believe. And then she does, and then she floats in the air, and then she smiles, and the movie ends with her. I guess it's just her, then, because it doesn't show the other witches around her. It just shows her, I guess that's supposed to be Thomasin, but then it ends, and then I'm like, this is what people were so raving about, like. So, and then there was another video I watched about how when they were, because it's stated throughout the movie, kind of, I think, the food that they're eating is kind of, might be, not hygienic, but might be, making them hallucinate stuff and be more paranoid than what's actually going on. So then I'm like, well, I don't know if that's possible because of what happened at the end. Like, she's floating she's floating in the air, and the goat killed the dad, so that couldn't have been all in their heads, or at least that couldn't have been in her head. Maybe, I don't know. Don't know, but yeah, I'm not a fan of this movie. I thought it was okay. Again, the acting's fine from the lead girl. The other people are okay. This is not a horror film. I don't get. If anything, it's a is there even a thing for that character? Type movie. It's a drama with. It's more of a psychological film, if really drama, psychological thriller. I guess I can throw thriller in there but it's not really a horror film because it's not really scary. I mean, there's other films that are granted slow burns, but even they're scary, somewhat. But yeah, that was The Witch. My thoughts on The Witch, which is a okay film at best to me. Not really anything. Not something I would run out and buy. I was thinking about buying it now, watching it, but nope. Definitely not. But comment below if you liked the film, or what did you like about the film, or maybe if you didn't like it, or also share, comment, subscribe, and yeah, peace and love. Bye.